Just wait, fingers crossed. Please. It works this time. Hi, KJ. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hey, I'm so happy. I was like,
Honestly.
my internet is not going to embarrass me
Oh,
today. Oh, you look amazing.
thank you. So do you. I thought
Thank you.
one today because it's been weeks of just headscarf and no makeup. I've been going in with my skincare though. Like I've just been putting on all the serums.
Exactly. Face masks.
Exactly.
We just got asked, where are you based? We're based in London. So we've got people literally from the US, the UAE, the Netherlands, France, the UK, obviously. Yeah, just all over the world. So thank you guys. Thank you. Well, Chanel, I'm so, so happy to have you on. Thank you so much for making the time. I know you've got kids and you've got your husband and you've got your business. You're busy. You're a busy woman. Hi from Bermuda. Amazing. And so thank you for making the time. It was, I mean, I've known you for years, but it was,
Yeah.
I really, really, I wanted you as one of our Nubian beings just because I find you incredibly inspirational. And everybody, I'm going to talk to you about how I met Chanel. Fun fact, Chanel did my makeup for my white wedding.
Oh yes.
4 years ago. You weren't even really doing makeup anymore, but I was like, please, will you do the makeup for my wedding? So, yeah, fun little fact there. But you know what? I'm gonna tell everybody how I actually first heard about you and how we first met. So when I was starting Nubian Skin, this was like before anything, before we'd launched, before like the Instagram had gone crazy, before anything. I think literally before we were even on Instagram. It was me and an intern, literally 17-year-old Mary. And I needed a makeup artist for this photo shoot that I had in my head. And I was so excited about this new brand I was going to do. And Mary was like, oh, you know, there's this makeup artist I love on YouTube, and she's amazing. You have to get her. You have to get her. You have to see if she'll do the makeup for us. And so I was like, okay, let's send her an email. And it was Chanel. And and I remember we were so excited. And to me, this is just testament to how much of an amazing person Chanel is. I'm not going to cry. But Chanel was all set. It was the day before the photo shoot. And literally, and I get a call from Chanel basically saying, basically she had a medical emergency, a personal and a medical emergency. And in the midst of all of this, and this was like super serious, right? She was like, but don't worry, I'm going to get you a makeup artist. So she's going through something horrific of her own. And I was nobody, literally. Like, she was already like, you know, doing amazingly well on YouTube. I was no one. Literally, my company didn't even really exist at that point. And she, despite everything going on in her life and her health, found someone to come and do my makeup, and not like somebody good to do the makeup. She made sure I was sorted. And I mean, I basically loved her from that because she didn't have to do that. Consequently, we've got to work together. She's done makeup for my stuff.
Yeah.
She's been a model. Oh, hi, Priscilla. She's been a model for Nubian Skin. She's done makeup on Nubian Skin. So that's like me fangirling, but that's one of the reasons why for me you are like one of the top Nubian beings.
I'm very hot. It's just interesting that like all these years later, obviously I've just literally seen how the brand has grown, and seeing you guys on billboards and seeing you guys a part of that huge campaign, I think in February with TFL, and you know, the stores you guys got into, you just from the start, you had a plan and a vision, and you just made sure you executed it, and you've done it so well. And I feel, as you know, it's done so well for the Black community, you know, as an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
You know, to have someone who's, you know, so refined and just on check with everything. Honestly, like I've just enjoyed watching the journey. And
Well, this is just beginning. We've got so many other places to go.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, there's so much more to do.
Hi, Faye. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna stop with the emotional whatever for now, because but I know that oh, she said a work wedding. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, my white wedding. So I'm Nigerian, and we generally my tribe's Yoruba. We always have a traditional wedding, and we have like a white wedding, like, you know, like a church wedding, but white dress, call it white wedding.
Yeah.
So she did my my traditional wedding was in Nigeria, did the white wedding in England, and so Chanel got to do this. But anyway, okay, I'm literally going through. We have people from Argentina. Sorry, I'm just going through Texas, the West Indies. Ah, I love this. This is amazing.
I got some people saying,
thank you,
everyone.
Guys.
And Monique
said, going through all the comments.
Wow.
Yes, Niger, exactly. Chanel, you know, respect that. Niger. Anyway, so I wanted to have Chanel. Oh, hello, also from France. I wanted to have Chanel on here because I think, I mean, so many Black women, young Black girls watched you on YouTube. Like, they were with you from like the YouTube days with the makeup, and then you have just over the years you've gone from, sorry, what'd you say?
Model Mondays. That was the second.
You know, you've gone from makeup artist to entrepreneur, influencer, agency manager. I mean, like, you've just done so much, and I wanted people to hear your story because it's so inspirational. And I love what you stand for. I love your body positivity. Yeah, like, you're a mom. You're not afraid to talk about the fact that you're a mom, that you're, you know, you're a businesswoman. I love it all. So take us back a little bit. Can you start us? Like, can you show us or talk to us about the progression?
Wow. Honestly, it's a very humble beginning for me. And a lot of us, you know, we've come from just normal household, normal families, etc. I'm still a very normal person, obviously. But mine was super humble in the sense where when I started like doing makeup, I was a single mom to a child with special needs, and I was told, because of his special needs and stuff, which is understandable, but obviously God has a different plan for me. But due to all of that, I was told I can't really, you know, have a normal life. I can't work. I can't fulfill the dreams that I had. And I've always been ambitious, you know, from university, etc. I did have him fairly young. I was like 21. And I had a side job, you know, aside from uni. I was working on a makeup counter, Benefit Cosmetics in Selfridges, which is no longer existent, but it was there. And I worked there for a couple of years while I was pregnant with my little man. Actually, he's now 10, so he's not so little anymore. And I couldn't go back to work after having him because there was so much issues. So I just basically went onto the internet and started exploring and seeing how I can, you know, make myself more creative and all of that. So obviously I started doing freelance makeup. I started kind of connecting and networking. I've met so many models who I still even speak to many of them today. In all of our early stages, fashion stylist Erica Matthews. I'm sure you guys know her. She's a stylist. Erica Matthews, she's still my good friend today. VNT, all of us was all kind of like these little people just trying to, you know, make our portfolio and build our brand and what have you. But it then became a bit challenging because freelance does require you to go to places and things like that. So I said, you know what, apart from that, what can I do online that I can do from my house and look after my child, you know? So I started doing blogging, YouTube and all of that. And yeah, it's been a long journey afterwards because afterwards I got married and then it just it's gone to such a different level now, and I'm just so thankful. The journey has been really, 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 really interesting, and yeah, there's so much has happened in between, honestly.
So how did you go from you're on the makeup and you started on the YouTube channel just
Yeah.
exploring, and then that started gaining traction, right? And so then now you don't even do makeup anymore. You're how did you go from, or what, I guess at what point did you pivot saying, you know what, I've done that, I've lived that, it's been successful. I'm now going to focus on, you know, being an influencer. I'm going to focus on building my brands, my business. How do you go from that to then creating an agency? Like, how do you?
It's really weird, but I do feel that it is God's plan. Because okay, so from the very early stages, one things I haven't really shared on my platforms, although I do speak a lot about like other stuff I've done outside YouTube, is when I was like 17 years old, I worked in like a little, like an intern in like a modeling agency. So I was working, doing a few bookings here and there, you know, learning things from the agent and that, doing events. From very early days, I worked at the Screen Nation Awards. And I even was flicking through my old Facebook the other day and I found so many pictures, it was crazy. So that's how it kind of started there. I was already kind of building that knowledge from very young. And although kind of my career took a turn, I went into makeup, which is still in the creative field, but it's not exactly obviously an agency owner or an influencer. But I went into makeup at the time because of, I wouldn't say convenience, but it's kind of like was the only thing I could put myself into after kind of being put in a, from being a single mom and not being given much options. So I basically started doing makeup. Later on down the line, I realized that makeup, obviously makeup will always be my passion, but there's just so much more that I feel that I can offer the community outside of, you know, just doing up a pretty face. Not like that's a bad thing or anything, because makeup is amazing.
No, I understand. Yeah.
But I know that I feel that I'm more into more of a leadership type of thing. So I wanted to kind of help people. I found myself not just being a makeup artist on shoots, but more or less really helping models actually create their portfolio and everything, you know, so and developing models and stuff. So it kind of really took a turn, and it kind of came naturally that eventually, obviously from makeup, then I went into just obviously being a full-time influencer. I actually ran into a situation where I was managed by quite a big management, and they were our Oyimbo people, you know, they managed me, and I was the only black girl in the books. So you think token and everything was going to be amazing, but quite honestly, they didn't understand my needs as a black woman. They hadn't a clue on how to manage a black woman, a black influencer. I'm not saying that our Oyin friends I'm trying to not be, well, you know, I'm not saying that they don't know how to manage influencers at all, but I didn't get anything from it. They didn't understand the audience that I'm catering to, and therefore they didn't seek out to the brands that I required. I had to shape that out and figure it out myself. And obviously, also the modeling agency I did used to work for was specifically for Black and Asian, so it was for ethnic models or stuff like that. So I was already understanding what the industry, what a mess of the industry it was anyway. And I felt that I needed to contribute, because I could see a lot of the struggle that models and influencers of color, etc., was getting into. So when I formed Camel London, it was actually about 3 and a bit years ago, and I was pregnant with my youngest. And it was based off the experience I got from being with this white agency who literally didn't do anything for my career. In fact, they actually done more damage than good. And it really affected me. And I felt like for a minute I had to rebrand and start from scratch. So I formed the agency a little bit out of annoyance, like, how dare you come and mess up something that I had going good? Because by then I was working with eBay and River Island and all of that. I'd done that all by myself without having an agent, and then I got an agent thinking that everything's going to be even 10 times better, but it just didn't understand my needs as a Black woman and sport things. So later on in the line, I said, you know what? I know how to brand myself. I know how to develop myself. I've got all these amazing clients, and, you know, I've been working with all these amazing brands. Let me extend my knowledge and my portfolio to someone else. So I started with friends like Fisayo Longe, who's an amazing blogger, like Nigerian queen. Okay. And she's got a line as well called Kai Collective. Please, guys, check her out if you don't know. But she's got a fashion line and she's doing so well. So my influencer friends such as Fisayo, even Erica, Mimi Misfit, I just tried to help as much as possible, at the same time kind of figuring out how I'm gonna steer the agency, I guess. And, you know, oh, hi Abiola. I'm gonna, you know, figure it all out. And I was pregnant at the time as well. And then flash forward 3 years later, I've built a small team. My business partner is the best woman I've ever come across. She is like a mother, a sister, and everything. And she as well she's a woman of color, of course, and she has supported me from the get-go and up until now. And honestly, we've been doing some amazing things, and we're looking after some amazing influencers and talent on the internet right now, and it's super fun. Honestly, it's so fun.
Oh, I love that. Congratulations, honestly, and so needed. Anybody, if you do have questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll make sure to ask Chanel. Oh, thank you. Someone said love Nubian PAs. Thank you. So I want to switch track a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about life under quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, things are just like crazy right now.
I know.
And I know I've been finding myself a lot being like, oh, I can't wait till like X or Y. But then I was like, actually, let me just take a step back. There are some things which are positive. So what things are you, I guess, what things have you discovered under quarantine? What are you enjoying about having to spend more time at home?
So I think at the beginning of quarantine, I realized that it's going to be longer than we knew or were told. Remember at initial stages, it was like, oh, stay at home for 3 weeks. No, I knew that it was going to take some time. So as soon as it started to break down and I could see Britain was shutting, I said, I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest. So for the first 3 weeks, I barely did a thing. I say that, but then at the same time, I was still obviously managing the business day to day, but with moderation and with just ease, because I wanted to take the time kind of to just reflect. A lot is happening, and it's a lot. So I needed to just take the time and rest, knowing that if I'm gonna pick up things later, at least I'm well rested, so I can put my full heart into it, you know? So I feel like for the first 3 to 4 weeks, apart from managing the agency and, you know, getting my brand deals and that, and sponsored content out, I rested, I spent good time with the family. That's how it's felt in the initial stages. Now, however, I think for the past couple of weeks, I've kind of got my notepads out again, and I'm like, wow, this is the time to start something revolutionary. So,
ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think everyone's got an opportunity to potentially do something, especially if you, I mean, it's not by force at all. If you feel like this isn't the time at all that you need to concentrate and put your heart into, you know, your dream project or whatever, then perhaps it's not. But for me, after resting well and giving myself that good balance, I thought, you know what, I can now just think of what else, what am I, you know, there's not much to do, unfortunately. So this is what I could do. I could actually just, you know, work on some things. So I've actually written 3 business plans. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And it's over the past couple of weeks, honestly, like literally like past 2 weeks or so. I've just like said, okay, I actually want to do this. This is how I'm going to do it. Taking my time and working towards that.
Oh, I love that you like created room for all of it. So you let yourself just relax.
Yeah.
And then when you felt like you were ready to go for it, you
Yeah.
let yourself just, you know, full steam ahead. Okay, we've got some questions. Somebody says, Chanel, I've been watching and loving you for years. Question, do you think you will ever create your own clothing line? I miss your clothing hauls.
Yes. Yes, I would.
There you go. Amazing. Watch this space.
I feel that is absolutely
Watch
long
this space.
overdue, and I feel as if I have dragged my feet with that. And that's a shame. And I know I kind of step back with the hauls again because of some personal reasons. Actually, I was finding it difficult to get space. My dad was staying with me. I had shared that before. So the room that I was like doing my glam and stuff, I gave it up for him.
Yeah.
He's now like got his place in that, but I still feel that it's not prepared. Yeah. So it's kind of a bit difficult to create like I used to bang out hauls like constantly. I can't really do that right now because I haven't really set up the space how I want it. But I do have like some clothes from Misguided that I'm going to show you guys soon. And also it's like creatively at this time it's a bit difficult because I mean who's getting dressed?
Yeah, who's going?
So I'm thinking like
except to do lives.
Exactly. I feel like this is the first time in forever I actually sat down and done my hair and makeup. And yeah, I definitely would love to do a clothing line eventually. That's one of the things on my to-do list, definitely.
Well, I'll watch this space. Yeah. Ivona has asked, can you talk about what your agency does? We kind of covered it, but I guess you can give it like a brief.
Okay, so we are a talent and influencer management agency, and we specifically work with influencers who are diverse because we want brands to acknowledge and represent diverse people. So we work directly with brands. We consult brands on how they can connect to their diverse audience. So for me, for example, I mean, predominantly, obviously, I have Black women who follow me, and a brand can tap into their diverse audience through me, just like any influencer of color, you know. And it's really important, and some brands have missed that, neglected it because of society's standards and norm and everything, which is ridiculous because you have to tap into that audience because we are a buying audience nevertheless, isn't it? So we carefully, you know, work with brands and connect them with influencers who will tap into that audience. And one of the main things we do is we actually brand and develop talent. So some of the talent that are on our board, we work with them daily, do outreach to brands and, you know, pitch their profiles and stuff. And we look into their audience and see, you know, where their weaknesses and strengths are, etc. And the aim is just basically to grow them, to help them grow. And I have a vision for everyone who we sign. Not every influencer is not going to be just an influencer forever. So for example, I'm starting an agency now because it's not an exit plan because I'm not going anywhere, but it's a branch out of everything I've built over the years. So I want to encourage everyone we sign as well. Like if you're someone who is absolutely amazing with skincare, then you need to develop a skincare line out of that eventually. You know what I mean? So it's all about that initial preparation and development of an individual, etc., to get to where they need to get to. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So hopefully, Ivana, that answered your question.
I'm sorry, I'm very long with my answers. I'm sorry.
No, this is good. People want to know. Somebody says, am I the only person who feels some way about being referred to as somebody of color? I don't mind it. I love my color. So everybody has a color. So let's see. Says, somebody's asked, do you know a good makeup person for 50 to 70-year-olds on YouTube?
Like a makeup person? Wow. Oh my. That might be a you know, I don't know. I actually don't know. Wow.
Well,
Well,
that's
if there's
good
a 50
time to do some research.
who's out there watching this live right now, start the channel.
Yeah, no, please.
Start the channel. Because I feel that I feel like I'm one of the oldest ones on YouTube right now. I'm like, seriously. That's how I feel. And I'm 32.
So somebody has asked, is your agency always looking for people to represent?
Yeah, constantly. We're constantly scouting and looking. But all the same, I want to be honest with anybody who I sign on. Because I it's not everybody that in the world that could be helped. There's not absolutely everyone that, you know, may flourish in when they sign onto us. I think I've got to really make that decision on, okay, I can see this person, I can see how I can help them, and I can see where they're gonna go. So although we're constantly on the lookout, is not absolutely everyone I think I will take on, because perhaps our formats and our style of managing may not be suitable for that person, if that makes sense. And there's been people that I've literally approached and I'll be like, oh, I would like to manage you, and they're like, not at this time. And you know, they will know because it's perhaps not the road they want to go down with people, with an agency like us. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Diane Rose has asked, how old are you? I am 36. I always have to think.
Ade, no, you're not.
I am. I just have my birthday. I swear I know how old I am.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Ade, you got such a...
Tell me you think I look 26.
Obviously, black don't crack. Honestly, you look outstanding. I honestly thought you was a lot younger than that. I thought you was like your late 20s, if anything. Oh.
Now. So I don't know if you want to answer that question. I've answered. That's how old I am.
I'm 32 anyway.
So somebody has asked, oh, Nubian Skin, do you have any stores in France? We do not, but we deliver to France. And then somebody asked, are you still assigned to an agency and what do they do for you? So Chanel has her own agency now. I believe your agency manages you, Chanel, is that right?
Yes, my agency manages me. I have a manager who works at the agency, and she's also my business partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Tam has asked, Chanel, what would you advise someone who is just starting out on YouTube and is interested in makeup? And is interested in makeup.
What would you advise someone who is starting at interested in makeup?
Who is just starting out on YouTube and interested in makeup, and the advertisement of makeup. I'm trying to see. That's all it's showing me.
Where did that question pop up from? That's actually really cool. I didn't know that feature was there. Oh, we switched to Q&A. Okay, so starting out to make...
No, I don't know what I'm about to fix it. Okay, yes.
Yeah, starting out to up for you YouTube. I think YouTube feels like, I mean, makeup feels like one of the first things that came to YouTube. So it's kind of like the oldest thing that's been there ish, you know, apart from all the other genres, probably like comedy, etc. And there is a lot of content creators who are doing YouTube makeup on YouTube, but I don't think anyone should feel like they can never start, even at this time. I think there's something for everyone if you perhaps format it right and do it right. So it's about, you know, knowing the direction of your channel, like what is your specialty when it comes to makeup, perhaps? Is there something that you can teach that maybe isn't out there, you know? And it's about just also taking your time to research on other successful channels who do makeup, looking at their format and almost applying it to your own. I wouldn't say copy, because it's nice to be unique, but you know, if Jackie Aina is your favorite person, what is it about her whole layout and format that makes her successful? I could say three things for her, just looking at her. Is, obviously, she's got an amazing personality. She's got great quality, and also she knows makeup, and she does it so well. So I would say kind of almost know what you're doing as well, because I think one of the great things about YouTube is it's a platform to learn. And a lot of us forgot about that with YouTube, and we've run away and we've done so much other stuff, whether it be all of these other types of things, pranks and this and that, and amazing content. But the main reason why YouTube, I think, started initially was because people wanted to learn. So bring some type of educational type of makeup, you know, something that people are going to learn from. So if it's like specializing for dark skin, sorry, it was swirling. Yeah, something specializing for dark skin, make sure it's informative and educational and stuff. And yeah, there's so much things in terms of like your camera equipment and stuff that you can get, like, and lighting and stuff. That's, again, that's something that you can research and just find out. There's so much information out there.
Amazing. Somebody has asked, how come you closed your Camel creative space? I was looking forward to using it.
Oh, wow. I can finally answer this question. I did share it, actually. Did I? Why, though? In all honesty, I didn't need it. That's it. I actually deeped that I did not need it. Not at the time anyway. I was definitely excited to open it at the time because I've always wanted to do it. And sometimes in business, when you want to do something, just do it and get it done. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, then away we go. I felt that the agency itself was stronger than the creative space. And we were just thriving with the agency. The creative space, we kind of got lost with just uplifting it the way it should have in terms of marketing and everything. So I wasn't getting much out of it, in all honesty. And I realized I didn't need the space at the time. Let me focus on the agency and build it from there.
Perfect. Hopefully that answers your question. I've been asked, do we have stores in London? No, we have a showroom. Obviously, that's currently closed. And to be honest, given what's happening with the COVID-19, who knows? Because that's just a massive unknown. Ivana has asked, what's the main way both of you deal or handle the stresses of being entrepreneurs? Ooh. That's a good question. When I figured out, I'm like, you know,
I call it to my manager.
I think for me, yeah, I mean, I think for me, a lot of it is, especially being a sole founder, I find a lot of times that can be incredibly stressful. Speaking about stuff helps me so much. My husband and my sister get it nonstop.
Yeah.
And then, so for me, I need to release it. Like, I need to speak to people, but then I also, at some point, just identify the source of the stress and then try and figure out steps I can take to dealing with the problem. Because usually stress comes from a specific problem or not addressing a specific problem. So personally, that's me, getting it off my chest, but then also figuring out how to directly handle it.
Yeah.
Any additions?
Oh, yes. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I think the same. I definitely have to speak to somebody about it. I'm a sole founder as well, but I do have a business manager and partner who has a lot to do with the day-to-day running of the business and shares ideas, and also not just ideas in the business perspective, on a personal note as well. And that's why she's my sis, because I can speak to her about anything that stresses me. And, you know, I feel that we share a lot of those stresses together. So I feel like I'm not necessarily on my own. And again, I speak to my husband about it. He gives me advice. And work in a way to solve an issue if it needs to be solved, because if that's going to be the way to settle it, then that's how I'll deal with it.
Yeah, amazing. More questions. Let's see. I'm trying not to miss anybody's questions. Miss Carolina has asked, will you relaunch your makeup brand?
I don't know. I actually don't know now, because I've put so much passion into Camel London. It's really my focus project at the moment. I kind of use this quarantine time to figure out everything, trust me, because I would want to release again. But the thing is, with makeup, and I'm going to be real with you, can I be real here, like real? Why?
Please. Yeah.
The makeup industry really has become, like, as on YouTube, it kind of took a bit of a turn. It became a very dramatic space at times with, you know, a lot of drama and stuff. And I honestly got a little bit like, oh my God, like, what if someone like picks us apart? I mean, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, there's more passionate things in my mind that I would rather focus on than that. And if it's going to come with that stress of thinking of what people are going to do to the brand, then it shouldn't be anything I should focus on right now. So if I'm going to release it, it's probably, or re-release it, it's not going to be just makeup. It's going to be other things that I find more interesting now as I've grown older, such as homeware stuff and things, you know. So yeah, it's going to be, if anything, will come back, but with a huge twist,
Right. Amazing. Ariel has asked, Chanel, what's your advice on being on YouTube for almost a year and struggling on gaining subscribers? It seems to be hard to attract people because everybody wants to be a YouTuber.
Oh, I don't know. I think I think that the community a little bit has almost broken down. I think people have forgotten that they perhaps need to work with others, connect with new people. I think that's how it, you know, in the very early stages, that's how a lot of people built their channels, is just from connecting. And don't forget to comment on other people's videos and stuff like that, because when people see your comments and stuff, they can check your channel out, and if they like your content, they will subscribe. So it's kind of almost like just, you know, networking online and connecting with others that potentially could build your following, your follower base, etc., you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good advice, actually. I've been asked, it's a diet exercise question mark. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I feel like for me, exercise has gone out the window with the virus, so you know, like go for a walk sometimes. Thank you. Just reading some of the lovely comments. Somebody has asked, do you partner with some brands? If yes, what kind of partnership do you accept?
Sorry for the point. Okay. Yeah, I partner with many brands, and I have specific brands that I want to target. One of the main things about the agency is I want to ensure that, I know someone said they don't like the term people of color, but just to be on the safe side, I don't know, I want to make sure that people of color people of color, Black people, diverse people are in mainstream campaigns. So I specifically want to work with mainstream brands, and some of them would include, I'm partnering with Tesco at the moment. I've actually had a few brand ambassadorships this year, and that's been amazing. Dove, Dove, Fabletics, Tesco, things that you would see in the billboards. And you know, just in your general day to day and on the TV. Those are the brands that I focus on, because I don't see enough of people like us on those campaigns. So I want to make sure I'm on those campaigns, or someone in our agencies on those campaigns. So yeah, I definitely am very specific about the type of partnerships I do. And also I also want to make sure it's a brand that I resonate with. So out of all of the shopping supermarkets, for example, that I shop, or any, if that's in the UK, I shop at Tesco. Like, that's where I shop. And we've managed to get a Tesco partnership. So, you know, it's all fitting, you know. Um, Same with Dove. I use Dove products at home. So it's great to have a Dove partnership. And we specifically pitch out to brands that I use in my day to day. And this is why a lot of the time when I'm using products that I'm using in my house and stuff and putting on Insta stories, I tag the brands, because it will be great to have a potential partnership with them, because I actually use your products. And
Right.
if my audience are buying from you, let's partner, let's do business, and, you know, reach out to a bigger audience and stuff.
Yeah, amazing. I think this might be one for me. Somebody said, I'm struggling to know how to match my skin tone. Right. Watch this space. We'll be making an announcement in the next week or two, which will make that so much easier. So we've got a couple more questions, Chanel. I know it's getting late, so we'll take those.
Well, I can't wait.
Somebody's asked, my cousin wants to become an influencer. How can she start?
Oh, that must be for me. Okay, so I think the best place to start as an influencer now is actually Instagram. I feel that the way they set up their algorithm is easier to see new people, because that's the issue on YouTube at the moment, unfortunately. It feels like it's so oversaturated that people are not getting discovered. Even my channel, the discovery rate has drastically fallen. But my will forever live, you know, and that's how it's been. So to start off as an influencer, set up your Instagram and have a nice feed, you know, get your images nice quality. You don't have to get a flashy equipment and stuff. You can use your phone. If it's a good quality phone, that's another essential thing. Make sure it's a good quality. And start taking images, and, you know, you write nice captions and stuff. And again, network through commenting on other people's pages and connecting with them that way. Yeah, so definitely start out an influencer journey over here on Instagram.
Amazing. And then we've got one last question, which is, do you ladies find it challenging to connect with other women of color entrepreneurs and business owners? I think for myself, no. I mean, my business has been built on women of color, specifically Black women. They've supported me from the word go when nobody had to. I mean, they still don't have to, and so I'm so appreciative of that. And throughout my journey, and actually one of the reasons why I launched Nubian Beings, and I'm doing this Nubian Beings Lives, is that I've just met so many incredible Black women in my journey, and other women of color, and men actually, but met incredible people who are just open. And I think if people can tell that you are serious about what you do and you are just a decent person to people, they, generally speaking, not everybody, but generally speaking, will reciprocate that. And so I haven't found it difficult at all, because I've met the most phenomenal people, Chanel being one of them. So yeah, I love Black women. So
me too. I've had a passion for Black women from, I mean, my whole life, obviously. But as in terms of career and stuff, is from the very early stages of when I was, like, you know, working at a modeling agency and just, you know, connecting with Black models. I specifically loved working on Black models. There was something about putting makeup on Black skin, that just whole buttery finish. It just was like, oh my goodness. So I always, you know, would vouch for them because I could see how they were treated in the industry. And I never even mentioned this before, one of the main reasons why I stopped doing makeup officially was an experience I had when I was an assistant to a very famous makeup artist. She was okay, but it was for, I think, what's this Love magazine. I assisted on that shoot, and I just felt I remember, oh my gosh, the editor-in-chief, you can Google that. I won't say her name, but the editor of that magazine treated me so bad on that shoot. In fact, she literally, I remember when I came in and it was playing Lauryn Hill, that thing, and I was kind of a little bit humming to it, not like loud, like, because obviously they put that stereotype on us, isn't it? It wasn't like that, but I was just kind of like, and then she said, "Everyone get out now," and specifically towards me, told me to get out of this vicinity. That was the last time, actually, apart from that, I've done Nubian skin. But that was the last.
Because I've literally begged Chanel to do makeup.
That was the official last shoot. This is when I said, I'm done with fashion, and that if they're going to treat me like this, I don't deserve this. No, bye-bye. So yeah, sorry, when my point was from that is, have I connected with other business owners? Not just yet, apart from Ade, Mimi at Mina. I actually haven't connected with as much as I'd like to. One thing is, I don't know what it is, but for me as well, I've been running Camel London for a few years now, but I've really kept it quiet. And honestly, a lot was to do with, would my colleagues have something ill to say about it? And I have had issues with people saying, "Oh, who does Chanel think she's doing? Like setting up an agency? She's just an influencer." I have had that from other peers.
Tune that out.
Sorry.
I said tune that out.
Exactly. I knew that was coming. So I wanted to quietly work on it, very quietly, make sure I not necessarily mastered it, because it's a thing that you can do behind the scenes. Not everyone had to know what I was doing. But I wanted to get a grasp of what I was doing with it before I started, talking about it a bit more. And in the process of that, I've obviously not been able to connect with other business owners alike. But now that I'm obviously embracing sharing it a lot more on my channels and stuff, and I've actually got something epic that I'm going to drop soon. It's epic to me anyway. And I'm going to be sharing a lot with kind of like the influencer agency and space and stuff as well. It's kind of like a little bit of a brand extension to what I do here on Chanel Ambrose. And yeah, I want to connect with more business owners. It's really important, especially female business owners. So yeah, that's my next step, definitely.
I know loads, so they're great. So we'll make that happen once this quarantine's lifted. But I am actually a big proponent of quietly putting your head down and working on something until it's ready to deliver. And then you can shout from the rooftops about it. But sometimes you just need the quiet space to really focus on crafting whatever you're working on. Well, I know it's getting late. I think we've answered everybody's questions. If there was one piece of advice or one tip that you would give our audience, what would it be? Could be to do with anything. Okay.
Wow. One piece. I talk for England, so I would say that don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the things that you want to do and your ambitions, despite any setbacks or perhaps what people may think or say. Because even like starting the agency, I almost talked myself out of it a lot of the time because I thought people might find it ridiculous for an influencer to start it. But it is a dream project of mine. It's a passion to help influencers like myself, being plus size and Black, and literally at the bottom of the spectrum of everybody on the planet according to society standards. I've still been able to do breakthrough campaigns. So I know for a fact that if I can, then I'm the best person to actually start an agency such as this, because there's all these other cool kids out there that have so much potential for me to help them fulfill their dreams and their ambitions. So it's definitely something that you should never put down. If it's something that you love and you want to go for it, don't convince yourself out of it, and don't allow anyone to convince you out of it. Yeah.
I mean, could that have ended any more perfectly? Chanel, honestly, thank you so, so much. I think that's
Thank you.
wonderful advice. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. I hope that I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope to see you as we continue with this series of lives. But Chanel, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for
Looking
having
forward
me.
to being able to see you in person.
Oh my God, I'm just so excited. I'm going to do it live.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. Have a good night
You too.
and take care.
Bye.
Bye.